Alright, what I thought I'd do is give a brief description and demonstration on the process of what I'm doing here with basically removable scenery based on 1-inch blue foam. This is the bridge going behind the heater, and what I need to do is to continue the bridge. You can see the arches on that side. Continue the bridge across. The tracks will come out from beneath, so I have to devise a way to do that with a portal. We have a break in the upper deck tracks where there'll be a bridge, an interchange right here between a couple of different railroad paths here and destinations, and then of course this track which goes across the back side here along the edge and then will disappear into a tunnel which serves as a runaround track and a loop for continuous running. Now, that being said, on the upper deck there is scenery that will go across the mountain, or have mountainous type scenery here to give it depth, and have to give this backdrop a little bit of life, if you will. Now, to basically give you an idea, these are the pieces that are all going to fit together as a puzzle. And each piece has a place in the whole entire picture. And once it's put in its respective place, the scene will all come together. But each piece is like a puzzle and can be removed to gain access to the track for repairs, cleaning, or otherwise to get a car that is stuck. So, I wish I could devise a way of getting this camera to be put in a spot where it could see the whole thing as I assemble it, but until I come up with that idea, we'll just have to pick it up on the next video. But quickly, as I end this segment, I'll back up to give you an idea on what the other side of the bridge looks like with the foam in place. Okay, part one. Let's start assembling the remaining part of the bridge. And this piece will fit right in here and complete the segment of the bridge as such. Slides right in there, and a little friction holds it in place. Set that right there for a second. Now what we need to do is we need to put in the floor that's going to support the back wall inside the tunnel. So we'll set this down in place like that. Another little segment of foam in here that makes up the brick foundation. And lastly, the wedge piece, which then completes the edge there. Now we'll put a small section of the brick wall in here. Now mind you, this will be more permanent, so I'm just laying it in there, but it'll be glued in place because this doesn't really ever have to come out. And then the back wall, as you can see, two different types of bricks, smaller brick, larger brick in the tunnel, outside the tunnel, all hand carved. And this will go in like so and follow and just tuck in just like that. Okay, now that makes the back wall of the tunnel. Now this will serve as the interface piece between the bridge and the structure that is going to then make the portal, and that's this piece here. This will fit right in here like this, and it very nicely slides down and then pushes into that notch, and voila. Now The backdrop behind that, let's see, comes in two pieces. This, we first have to put the floor in. Where the junction is, this is going to support not only the back scenery, but it's also going to support the tower. And this piece goes in the top here and slides down in the notches, like so. And once it's down in place, it locks in. Next, we have this piece, which this again will be glued on because this really doesn't have to come off once it's in place. But this goes into this section here and locks in, giving nice scenery backdrop up on the top. And alright, where the heck is the other piece I'm looking for? Ah, here we go. This piece will go in here to complete the support wall for the remaining part of the upper deck. Okay, and then of course the bridge, which will traverse the span, will drop in here just like this. Now for right now we're just going to set it in place to give you an idea of how that's going to look. And then I'm using this tower, won't be the one I'm going to be using, but we'll just put that there for the sake of argument. And that will either be here or there or some way like that, because there's got to be a way to get to it. So obviously you have to cross these tracks somehow because there's no other way to get to it. All right, and that is that segment of the structure. And as you can see, it all comes together rather nicely. Okay, part 3. Now we got one side of everything all taken care of. Now it's important to get the other side taken care of. So let's start with the larger foam backdrop. And this will go on top to form the corner pieces. Now again, these are not done. There's a lot more detailing that needs to be done on them, but nevertheless. There we go. The mountain, of course, is a separate piece, as you can see. And this is removable, not because there's anything behind it, so to speak, but because I don't want to reach over there to scenic it. I'd rather take it off and scenic it somewhere else and put it back up accordingly. Now, of course, we have to interface with the top section and the bridge and the scenery that's down there, so this will slide in and lock into place into the backdrop like that. And if you strategically put your seams in such a way that once scenic, they'll be covered over, you'll never even know that there's two pieces there. Same like this one here, where this comes together. Which once it's all done, I'll give you a still shot so you can see a little close up how the seams meet, and then you wouldn't know that the seams are there because of the way the lines are drawn. Okay, so that takes care of the upper section. Now the lower section, we had to put a brick wall behind this, a little bit tight here, not a lot of clearance on the top side, so we're going to have fun with that. But here we go. It also goes into pieces. Now keep in mind there's a crossover up top here, there's switch motors back here I have to be able to get to, so this has to be accessible, so these are removable. So this will go in here like this. And that will join the front brick wall like that. And then this is the piece that's critical to be removed because this allows me to get to the motors behind here, the servos, in case I have to service them for whatever reason. This will slide down into place, slide back, and then once the two pieces are lined up properly, push this over and it locks in place. And then this cross structure from the wall to the bridge to support that slight outcropping there will go in place. This will be glued. And there you have it. Alright, so it comes together nicely. What we'll be doing here in this one spot, since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks here, these three are fairly close together and it needs to go into a tunnel here. I'll be using a very large block of foam and I'll be carving out a tunnel portal that's very, very narrow, and it'll look like it was blasted out of solid rock, not your typical block type portal. This side maybe not so much. There's enough room here to actually put a portal here, a double portal, without any problem. This dual track outside here will be on the outside, so there will be no hidden tunnel there. So these 3 tracks back in here will also be hidden. So there'll be scenery here, 2 tracks up here, 2 tracks exposed down here, 3 hidden. So that should be coming together next with the foam project.